head out to another wintry day. Go out today, gonna tackle the decks on the boat. It's gonna be a long day, I think, but it'll be really good to get that job done. Up on the top deck of the boat, I pulled the mast step off. I was kind of hoping that I would have been able to just repair it. I knew that there was a soft spot there, but now that I've got it off, I see that it's really wet, and the whole deck over to here pretty well. So it looks like I'm going to have to cut this whole top sheet off, get it done, replace the wood. I'm not sure if I'll be able to reuse the outer skin or not. If I can, it'll be a bonus, but if I can't, I'll just have to re-glass this area. It's probably about 3 feet by 4 feet or so. Well, there's that panel off, completely saturated. Just the stuff is just like wet cardboard. Well, I'll scrape that out of there and see how it goes from there. Well, I got the all that glass cut and peeled back and all the wood scraped off, so I'm just gonna have to let that sit and dry for a few days, maybe a week. Top side, here's the deck all removed. It's all been cleaned out, scraped in around all the edge, and dug out any loose material in there. Just got the angle grinder with a 60 grit flap wheel. So what I want to get on all the edges is about an inch and a quarter, inch and a half of bevel, so that I aim to get towards a 12:1 bevel on all the edges to tie back in the top skin once I've got the core rebuilt. I've cut the cuts. I've placed them near or right on beveled surfaces. I guess we could call that a beveled surface there. It just makes it easier to hide that back in. If you've got a seam on a big flat, it's much harder to make that disappear in the final product. When it's on an edge, it's easier to cut that back in, fair it, and have it look pretty reasonable. There, fiberglass. Grinding, sanding fiberglass is never fun, but that went pretty well. So I've got a bevel all the way around, between an inch and a half. Some places it's down to an inch, but the skin is a little thinner in some places too, especially up at the corners for whatever reason. So I'm just going to make sure everything's braced well underneath, find some 1-inch screws, and then I'm going to start to lay 1/8 inch hardwood plywood in, epoxied, maybe with some 403 thickener in, packing lots back up underneath where any voids might be to fill everything in as best possible. Almost ready to go at the deck repair over the main cabin. You can see those boards that are up there. What I've done is I've gone and I've put a number of braces to push up the boards, hold them up into a nice arch to try to replicate as close as possible the original arch that was there. And then I can apply the plywood epoxy and glass back over the top surface and kind of rebuild the deck that way. Got the pieces of plywood cut. They're to staggered widths, so I can put them down in the on the deck and not have the seams in the same spot. Build up the 3 layers and then move 3 layers from the back to the front, and screwing them down as I go, making that job as easy as possible. Wood paneling. Hardwood is going to go in kind of like this, going to stagger the seams, and then build it up that way. Right, packed tons of epoxy, thickened epoxy, all back in under the deck where it was hollowed out. So that's pretty filled back in as much as I can, and I'll jam it even more in when I push the pieces of wood in. I'll slide them in so it really fills any voids. The wood all in. Really couldn't film much while I was doing it. The epoxy that was in the crevice started going off and hardening up, and I had to rush really to get it all in and down. Anyway, just going to scrape up some of the overfill in places and let it all cure up. Well, the epoxy's all cured up. The fit actually worked out really well with the sheets of plywood. I think the arch is fairly good, maybe just a little high in the middle, but that's kind of okay because that's where the mast step's going to be. Maybe a little bit of a low spot back on the port side. I guess I just got to get all these screws out. This might take a while. Actually, I think I should try that YouTube trick. Let's see here. Wow. It even, not only did it take the screws out, but it also sanded off any high spots. That's cool. Yeah. So I wasn't looking to make a real smooth finish out of this. I just wanted to get off any high spots that would hold the skin up from sitting down nice and even. I think I may still have a little bit of work to do to fair the very top. It just seems to be a little bit proud, and over on the back corner it just seems to be a little bit of a low spot over there. Whether I even have to fair it or whether I'll just put a little extra compound on the skin, thickened epoxy on the bottom of the skin when I push it down in. I'm going to dry fit it, and obviously, and make sure that everything sits down nice and even. And this edge too, I may have to work on a little bit, the front edge, just to get that to sit. If it's sitting up at all high, I'll just grind out more and then put in filler when I push the skin down into place. I'm really happy with how the fitting of the plywood went. Every sheet just fits together, butts together nice and tight. So I think I got a good strong deck now. It's solid, and that's without even the skin on it, so it's going to be good. I think I'll leave the video at this point. Next one, I guess we'll work on getting the skin back on this this repair. Maybe a little bit of electrical work. For today, I'll leave you with a few slides, maybe wildlife shots.